Hi again, everyone. Andrew Richter with Community Solutions, back for another video here on presidential election 2024, talking about polls and how I think they are wrong again. And this time I think they are wrong on purpose. And I'm going to break down one poll. Now, I could pick a lot, okay? But I'm going to pick this Arizona poll done by the New York Times and Siena College. Of course, they're a left-wing pollster. I don't have to tell you that, which is fine. I don't care what, polls are polls, and if they're done right, it doesn't matter who does them. But I want to say something straight out. Arizona, one of the reasons I'm picking Arizona is they are a state. I live in Minnesota, and in Minnesota, when you register to vote, you don't register as the member of a party. Okay, in some states you do. Arizona, Pennsylvania are states that you register and you show a party identity, or you pick independent or unaffiliated, I think they call it in some states. And that is very important when looking at internals of poll numbers. Arizona, as of July 31st, 2024, we got the whiteboard again, Karl Rove's whiteboard here. And I'm getting this from azsos.gov. That's the Arizona Secretary of State's website. And it shows you on there the breakdown of how voters are registered in that state. So you can actually look how many Republicans, how many Democrats, how many, I put independents, but really it's, that's broken down. They have people registered as libertarians, as Green Party. I just threw them all in independent. I mean, the Green Party and Libertarian are quite low. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to throw them all in as independents to try to make my point of why this poll is off. Okay, so you can see how many Republicans are registered in the state. And then this number here is the percentage of the electorate. So 35.4% of Arizona's registered voters identify as Republicans, 29.1% as Democrats, and 35.5% as independents. And like I said, that includes maybe 100,000 of that is Green Party and Libertarian. I'm just gonna put non-Democrats and Republicans in this just to sort of make my point here. So when you look at that, when you do an Arizona poll, you have to take this into account. Imagine this. This may be, I know I'm getting a little hard to follow here, but imagine putting 1,000 Arizona voters in a gymnasium, okay? To get an accurate poll, what you'd have to do is get 354 Republicans, 291 Democrats, and 355 independent or non-affiliated voters, because that's how Arizona breaks down, party-wise. If this isn't right, you're not going to get an inaccurate number. So the New York Times Siena College poll came out a couple of weeks ago in Arizona. And it was big news. CNN and MSNBC. Harris is up by 5 in Arizona. Trump's toast. This is just surging everywhere. And of course, all of the media say the same thing. It's always weird how they always say the same thing, report the news the same, report the same polls. Isn't that weird how they do that? But there's a problem, okay? There's a problem with the New York Times, Siena College methodology. And I want the New York Times to know, this is another thing, too, that they hide their internals. I pay 99 cents a month. New York Times, I'm paying you to show how awful you are at this, because they put the internals on the subscriber side of the website. So I had to pay to be able to bring this to you and show you this, of how the methodology of how they did this poll. And I broke it down right here. This is on their website. Democrats made up 33% of the poll. Republicans were 31%. other or independent or unaffiliated were 36. Do you see a problem? Okay, the problem is that doesn't represent Arizona voters. Arizona voters are 29% Democrat, not 33. So they're oversampling Democrats by 4 points. 31% Republican, but that's not right either. Republicans make up 35% of the voters. So they are undersampling Republicans by 4 points. So that is an 8-point swing in favor of the Democratic Party or the Harris-Walz campaign, however you want to put it. They're going to get an inaccurate answer because they're not breaking down their poll correctly. Now, what can we conclude from this? I mean, think about this for a second. The New York Times has to know this. I went to the Secretary of State. It took me 30 seconds to write down these numbers. And the New York Times has got researchers, editors, copywriters, hundreds of them, all for the largest newspaper in the world that nobody reads. But they have all of that. They could easily have looked up these numbers and done an accurate poll. What can you conclude? You have to conclude that they did this on purpose. What other conclusion can you draw? They had to know that this was wrong, and of course, they're never challenged. No one shows you these until you turn on CNN. You won't hear this analysis. They'll just stare at the poll and report it. So that's what we're facing here. Now, look, I'm not saying Trump's going to win the state. I'm not saying Trump's going to win. No, I am saying that a little bit. But I mean, the point being that you have to understand bias when you see it. You have to look inside these poll numbers to really challenge whether these pollsters wonder why they've been wrong the last two elections. A poll like this is one of the reasons why. And folks, I'm going to continue doing these videos, continue bringing this stuff. Whether it's good or bad news for Republicans or Democrats, I don't care. The truth's what I want to report. And the truth is, this New York Times poll is BS. BS. Bull. You know what? Barbra Streisand. That's what this poll is. And until the next video, the next short video, folks, I'm going to make like a tree and get out of here.